So the more and more that I've been playing Warzone, I've been picking up on a few things that definitely could improve your play style and how you place at the end game. A couple of these tips that I'm about to share with you are going to be things that you can do to better set your team up for success or set yourself up if you are playing solos. One of them is going to be specific to squads, or maybe two of them. Two of them will be very specific to squads, and number 5 is also going to have like a little sidebar to it as far as that tip goes. But we're going to get back down into it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how you guys are liking Warzone. Let me know what you guys do to make sure your team is winning. Make sure that you are winning in your solo matches. What do you do? Any other tips that you have to add to this list, be feel free to leave them in the comments. Be sure to leave a like if you did like the video. If you disliked the video, be sure to leave a thumbs down. Subscribe if you haven't already. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate you guys. And go check me out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/mojoeytv. Now, I did change my name, did a little bit of a rebrand because things weren't really working very well for the Mojoey type of realm because the names were all taken all over the place. So it's Mojoey TV now. Welcome. But without further ado, let's get into these 5 tips. I'll even throw in a bonus one at the end there. So tip number 5 that I'm going to share with you guys is going to be when you're playing with a squad and you have a crap ton of cash, make sure you split that money up evenly amongst you and your teammates. And if not evenly, just make sure at least 2 or 3 of your teammates have a surplus of cash so that if one of you guys goes down and your teammates manage to live, they can just buy you back really quick and you guys will have an easier chance of getting a loadout drop if you need it once you do come back. Having one person hoard all the money is never a good idea, especially towards the middle to the end games, to where what could make or break that match is one of you guys getting to a buy station, grabbing a UAV, or one of you guys splitting up the money to get a drop or some more armor or something like that. You would definitely want to have an even distribution of your money, so that way you're not, scrambling for, oh, drop me money, or oh, this, that, and the other, when all 4 of you could be carrying UAVs, all 4 of you could be carrying armor crates, one of you could be carrying, precision airstrike just in case. That end game, precision airstrikes are always good for that end game because you'll be able to basically nuke the entire circle because the last 2 zones are pretty small. And the extra little bit I want to add on to that is going to be when you're playing solos, if you die with a crap ton of money, then you're just screwed when you come back out of the gulag if you win your fight. What you're going to want to do is, say you have, $10,000 on you and you see 2 people up ahead of you. Hide your money somewhere. Hide it in a building, or even if you don't want to, risk having someone else take it, hide it in a bush in the middle of nowhere. That way when you come back from the gulag, you'll be able to land on that money, have everything you need to get UAVs, score streaks, armor. You can grab your loadout drop and be right back into the fight like you never even died. And in it, tip number 4, it's all about keeping your distance. If you see 2 people out in the distance and you're like, hey, shoot at them, why not? Oh, I've got this sniper and I'm really goated with the sniper. Do not engage. I have learned the hard way that engaging on a 1 or 2 people that you might have a peek at is not a good idea. You take that shot, you're immediately getting swarmed by their entire team. Wait for your teammates to stack up on each other. Say, okay, I have movement northeast, whatever, blah, 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 and move in together. But don't engage until you have an absolute clear shot on the person. Whether that be in a building, in a parking lot, kind of out in the open. Just make sure that you aren't engaging at extremely long distances because that can, A, 1, give away your position, and 2, make it to where you will be easier to find by the team you are shooting at. I don't know how many times I've had a teammate fire off a shot at someone who was like over 500 meters away with a sniper, and immediately we get collapsed on whether they drive a car up to us. And that is another thing. People will grab a car and come to you if you take a shot and you're really far away. I have had it happen an exuberant amount of times, and I hate it. But this tip will keep you from having that happen to you, and make sure that you guys are trying to keep your verticality as far as engaging enemies and not engaging enemies. So if you see people, get the high ground. If you see somebody down at the airport, jump up on top of a building, or grab a helicopter or something. Just make sure that you are not engaging at a disadvantage is what I would say. And to piggyback off of that last one, tip number 3, we're just going to try to stay together. Do not be that teammate who runs into a building on me, and immediately you get downed. That's not what you want to happen. If you're going to push into a building, wait for your team to stack up on you. If you're going to push into an open field, wait for your team to stack up on you. Open fields are a little bit different. I guess you could kind of like stay far, not far, but like no more than 15 meters from one another if you're going to be out in the field. When you're in a car, when you guys get out, make sure you all move as a unit to where your next position is, because you don't want to get clapped from across the map by someone and all of a sudden you're down with the rest of their team rushing in on you to get the final kill. What you want to do is position your team to where you're covering north, south, east, and west. Don't peek the same angles. Don't charge in 2 at a time, 3 at a time. No, your whole team needs to move together. Don't be the guy who ends up all by himself in a building, or like say you get into a gunfight and you're like, I'm gonna try to flank. No. Flank as a team. Don't push one side unless you guys are very, very confident in your ability to coordinate as a team and attack, because you don't want to have someone coming in at you from the front and you guys split off, your 2 teammates die, and then they split off and kill you guys. Unless you're confident in doing the flank maneuver where 2 people go to the left and go to the right and try to encircle and you guys just push as a sandwich, or if you're confident in having 3 people go, have one person try to debate the other team and make sure that you keep an equal distance from them, and make sure you guys keep an equal distance between you and your teammates, because if your team gets shot, you can just turn quick, boom, they're dead. Don't worry about, flanking or, I need ammo, so I'm gonna dip off. No. You all should go as a team together to get ammo. Go as a team to a buy station, and what you guys want to do is have one person on a buy station and have your team guard that person. Have each other's backs throughout the engagements. Don't jump to conclusions that aren't clear yet, because I personally have done that, where I have branched off from my team trying, I'm gonna go through this door to try to get a drop on him. No, I just get sprayed down and it just never works. But just stick together and I promise you guys will make it to the end game. Next up, we have choose your equipment wisely. Do not pick up things you don't need. Syringes are good to have for the early games, just to ensure that you're going to stay alive to make it to the end game. But also, if you're running in a team, not everybody needs to run a heartbeat sensor. 1 to 2 people tops can be running heartbeat sensors, and the rest of you run like flashbangs, or one person run syringes. Like, the best player on your team should run syringes, hands down. The worst player on your team, and not to say that they're bad, but the person who likes to play more tactically, I guess, have them run the heartbeat sensor, and make sure that you if they're good at making their call outs, then they would be good to hold on to that heartbeat sensor. Make sure you guys are stacking up with lethals, grenades. C4 is clutch in Warzone right now. C4 is another good one. Not everybody needs to run rockets. One person with an RBG might be useful. Make sure you guys are picking up guns that you're used to using. Make sure that you're not picking up a weapon that just isn't going to perform well, like the 7.25, the white one. Don't bother with it. It's a waste of your time, unless it's the only thing available to you after you come back from the gulag. Camp with it. Sit in a corner, wait for them to come in the room. Do not use that like at endgame. Make sure you guys are getting your loadout drops properly. Make sure that you guys have classes set up that have one class for early game, wait for the free loadout drop, get a class for mid game, so swap out like a grenade for a C4 and a heartbeat sensor, and then once you get to the end game, once that last loadout drop comes in, set up for end game. Grab an RPG, grab some C4 and a heartbeat sensor, grab a sniper rifle, grab a shotgun. Shotguns are really good and people sleep on them all the time. Make sure you guys are not just using anything that you find and thinking you're gonna make it to the end game. It's not gonna happen. And make sure that you guys are using score streaks to your advantage. Shield turrets are awesome. Use them on top of buildings, just fire down a whole team, spray them down, get them weak for your teammates, and you guys will be good to go. Use your precision airstrikes properly. Make sure that you guys are placing them a little bit further in front of your target so that they're gonna get hit by it. Or if they're coming at you, place it closer to you and then just turn around and run backwards so that you're not in the crossfire. That way, when they go to push you, they won't be able to move it quick enough, especially if they're camping, to get out of the way of that precision airstrike. Cluster strikes are also really good for controlling areas. So if you're trying to get to a scavenger bounty and there's like 2 teams fighting on it, use a cluster strike. You're bound to kill one of them. It's not impossible to use. And also make sure that you guys are utilizing those bounties as well, because they do drop loot. They'll drop armor satchels. They'll drop different score streaks, different weapons and things of that nature that you can use to get the upper hand. And coming in at the last tip that I have for you guys is going to be to always reload your guns. I see people so often running around with a half full magazine, and I'm just sitting there like, what are you doing? Like, reload your gun. The last thing you want to do is come up against someone who has a full magazine and you're sitting on like 15 rounds in the mag. Especially if you're using 60 round mags, because those 60 round mags are there for you to be able to kill your enemy, outspray them, because a lot of people don't run higher capacity magazines in this game. I know a lot of people who just flat out leave it alone because there's really no need to. I mean, and it's not that there's no need to, they're kind of OP, but if you're good with your shots, if you can land those shots, you don't need the extended mags. But when you're playing quads, it's definitely good to have a full magazine, especially if you're using the 60, 50, 60, 100 round mags. You don't want to run out of ammo and be like, oh shit, hold on, I gotta reload, and you're running around while your teammates are kind of trying to bail you out of that reload. Always reload your guns. Don't ever let the magazine get low, and make sure you guys are staying topped up on ammo. Ammo's kind of weird to find sometimes. Sometimes there's no ammo anywhere, and sometimes you'll find all the ammo on the map. So I would try to make sure that you guys are staying topped up on ammo. Buy those ammo crates if you need to. Also those armor bundles if you need to. Just make sure you guys are staying topped up with your equipment and your ammo as much as possible. That way, when you get into fights, you won't be scrambling because you run out of ammo, and you won't have to run away. Leave it up to your team to share your ammo. Like, they share your ammo. If you're sitting on max AR ammo and your team's sitting there with only 2 mags left, but he's carrying like an SMG with full ammo, share that AR ammo, because he may need that ammo later on down the road. And who knows, your enemies might be low on ammo as well. So keep that into consideration when you're fighting people. Reload your gun and make sure that you guys are reloading, and make sure that you guys are sharing your ammo. And like I said at the beginning, I got that spicy boy bonus tip for you guys. Make sure that you guys are staying in cover. Listen, there have been so many times where I've just run out somewhere and immediately got sniped, or immediately got blown up by a C4, or immediately died to like a bouncing Betty or something like, or not bouncing Betty, but the proximity mines. I learned the hard way to stay covered. When you're moving from building to building, try to find a car to hide behind so that your back is covered from one direction and the only thing you have to do is focus on in front of you. Don't let yourself get clapped when it's completely and utterly avoidable. Make sure you guys are staying behind cover when you're moving from building to building as a team. Like I said, that north, south, east, and west formation that you guys should be running in, that's the tip, that's the trick to staying, completely clear of any enemies. And if you guys get, collapsed on, you guys can move to one location and get some cover, just so that you can, stay alive and get those kills. Also, as part of this whole staying covered thing, when you're in the trees, like say you're around the military base and you're up in that tree line right above it, make sure you guys are staying behind those trees, because if you're out in the open between 2 trees, enemies will be able to see you extremely clearly, because those trees are pretty spaced out. So make sure you guys are staying covered, staying alert as to where your enemies are under their cover. That way you know how to strategically move. And kind of looping back to all of these, make sure that you have the equipment you need to push your enemy efficiently. Make sure that you're sticking together as a team when you push. Keep your distance if you see someone behind cover, but you're far enough away to where they don't notice you. Share your cash so that if one of you guys needs to get something from the buy station, you can all move to that location at the same time, staying under cover. And make sure that your weapons are always reloaded. Make sure that you're always reloaded. Those are going to be the 5 tips that I have to help you guys place better in Warzone. Just play a little bit more strategic, a little bit better, so you guys can get to the end game. If you did like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, be sure to leave a thumbs down. Lets me know how I'm doing. Go ahead and leave a subscribe if you really enjoyed the content. And if you really enjoyed the content, go leave me a follow over on Twitch. I stream Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Central to about whenever. Just come over, hang out, we chat it up. Down below will be links to the Discord, links to my Twitter, and links to my Twitch, so you guys can come check me out. And if you really want to support the channel, you can go over and check out my Streamlabs page. It's where I take donations for anything that I can do to improve the quality of the content for you guys, and make sure that you guys are getting the best of the best here on YouTube and on Twitch. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching the video. Have a good one. Peace.